Are you sick and tired of forgetting your credit card number and having to get up and find your wallet every single time you need to buy something? Well, no more. Introducing Memorizing Your Credit Card Numbers. Hey guys, I'm John Graham, USA Memory Champion. Let me show you the easiest way to memorize all of your credit, debit card numbers, bank account numbers. So first off, most credit cards have a 16-digit code. Visa, MasterCard, and Discover all do. American Express has a 15-digit code. All cards have an expiration date that comes as a 2-digit for the month and 2 digits for the year. And finally, a 3 or 4-digit CVV code. So in total, to memorize a credit card or debit card, you'll need to remember a sequence of 23 digits. Piece of cake. Let's get started. For this video, I'm going to show you how to memorize this credit card number. This is not my credit card number. This is a test credit card that you use to test online payment checkout pages. So it's useless to use. Don't get excited and try to use it on Amazon for anything. It won't work. And to memorize this long sequence of numbers, I recommend the story method. In general, the story method means you're turning numbers into images or thoughts. And these images or thoughts form a sequence that becomes a story. Stories are way easier to remember than random numbers. So let's start with this 16-digit code for this MasterCard. As you can tell, the 16 digits come in chunks of 4. So we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to create an image or a thought for each of the 4 chunks. So how do you turn numbers into images or thoughts? Let's start our story with the first 4 digits. 5506. So I'm going to look at those numbers and really create an image based on whatever comes to my mind when I look at those numbers. Let's start with the age 55, 06. So at the age of 55, you get 0 sex. 6 rhymes with sex. All right, 9208. Next 4. I'm going to continue with the age theme here. So we'll start with the age 92. So at 55 you have 0 sex. And then starting at age 92 you get 0 to eat. 08. Okay. 55, no sex. 92, nothing to eat. Now we have 0924. When I look at these numbers, it makes me think of time on a clock, 9:24. So I'm going to try to add that into the story. So since we don't get anything to eat after the age of 92, we start sleeping in more and we wake up every day at 9:24. Last 4, we have 3667. Now if you're a sports fan, remembering players' jersey numbers is going to be really helpful for memorizing numbers. When I see the number 36, I think of Jerome Bettis, the running back for Pittsburgh Steelers, so I'll use him in my story. Now 6-7, since this is football, I'm going to imagine Jerome Bettis scores a touchdown, which is 6 points, and then after they kick the extra point, it becomes 7 points. Okay, now we just need the date and the CVV. So we're going to continue adding on to this same story. Oh, okay. So the date is 10 of 25, so October of 2025. Now for the month, I typically use a holiday or something memorable in that month to remember the story for that month. So October, I think of Halloween. If you have a different month on your credit card, here are some more suggestions for you to use. So we're going to use Halloween to remember October, and now we just need to memorize 25. And 25 is pretty simple for me. I think of quarters. So I can imagine on Halloween, instead of candy, we pass out quarters.
I got a quarter. I got a rock.
And finally is the CVV, 579. What I do notice is that it's a pattern. They're all odd numbers spaced out by 2, 5, 7, and 9. If you really want an image here, you can imagine giving a high five and remembering 5, 7, 9 fingers or something like that. Okay, to recap, we're going to add those last few images to the story. So at 55 we have 0 sex, at 92 we get 0 to eat. We start waking up at 9:24 a.m. every day. When we wake up, we watch Jerome Bettis score touchdowns and they kick extra points. After we watch the game, we realize it's Halloween, so we have to pass out candy. And we don't have any candy, so we pass out What was that for? We pass out quarters instead of candy. And finally, we give the kids high fives, and the next kid a high 7 and next kid a high 9. Something like that. That's our story. So again, it was all just kind of off the top. Stop. So for me, that was really quick and off the top of my head. If you are creating your own story for your own credit card number, here are some suggestions for you. You can use years. So like, for example, the number 67 could be the year 1967. Make it personal to you. Maybe you know someone who's born in the year 1967, or you know someone who's 67 years old, something like that. Some other examples, the number 28, you might think of February because February has 28 days normally. The number 50, you could think of 50 cent. The number 11, you can turn into a visual. So 1-1, that looks like 2 columns, so it looks like prison bars. You could also just associate single digits to another meaning. So like the number 4, you could imagine a golfer swinging and yelling 4, or the number 2, you can imagine dropping a deuce. The number 1, you can imagine like a foam finger, we're number 1. Now, what do you do if you want to remember multiple credit card numbers? All of your credit card numbers. So the first thing I recommend is that you choose an anchor image for each credit card. So for example, let's say you have American Airlines card, you have a Chase card, and you have a MasterCard. So for the American Airlines card, you could choose an American flag as the anchor image, or an airplane for the airline. For the Chase card, you can imagine playing a game of tag or someone chasing you. For the MasterCard, you could choose something that makes you think master, like Master Yoda. And what you're going to do with the anchor image is let this be the very first image of your story. So for the MasterCard number we memorized, let's use Master Yoda as the anchor image. So Yoda, when he turns 55, he gets 0 sex, 92, he gets 0 to eat. So the anchor image starts the story to help you distinguish between multiple cards. Now you can also use the journey method to further help you remember and separate all of your credit cards, especially if you're memorizing a lot of them. So what you'll do is you'll separate each credit card's story and put it in a different part of your house to separate them using a mental space. So in your kitchen, you can imagine the MasterCard story with Yoda, age 55, 92. And then in the bathroom, you can have your American Airlines story, starting with your American flag image. And finally, on your bed, you can have your Chase card, anchor image, and continue the story throughout your bedroom. And it's really as simple as that. Anyone can do this with a little bit of creativity and imagination. If you want to learn a more advanced way of memorizing numbers, I will be creating a video in the near future on how to memorize numbers in an advanced setting, the way I do it. So subscribe to my channel and look for that video in the coming months. Let me know what other suggestions you have for videos. Comment below, subscribe. We'll talk soon.